Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about apples. So be sure to stay tuned towards the end though. I'm going to talk about apple storage also. So what are the best apple types for apple pie or apple pie filling? It comes down to a few things. So not all apples are the same. When you bake them, some of them hold their structure, some of them hold their flavor, some of them bake really, really well, some of them get really, really juicy and can ruin an apple pie. So which apples should you use for making an apple pie? I'm going to give you a few variations to choose from today. Your first option is the Braeburn apple. So the Braeburn apple, related to the Granny Smith apple, is a nice combination of sweet and tart. And when you bake it, it doesn't release too much juice. It actually is a really nice apple for an apple pie. It has a nice even balance to it. Highly recommend the Braeburn apple. Your next option is the Crispin apple. Now this is actually an apple that was, it's weird to say this, but developed in the 1940s, right? It's a crossbreed. So the Crispin's also, like the Braeburn, has a nice even flavor profile to it, has that good sweetness to it, has nice tartness to it, and it holds its structure when you bake it. So this is a really great apple for apple pies also. If you like your apple pie or your apple baked goods to be a little bit more on the tart side, then this next apple, the Gala apple, is a good choice for that. It holds its structure when you bake it. It has a nice even flavor profile, but it has a little bit more of that tartness to it when it's baked, which makes it a really nice addition on its own or to mix in with other apples. And here's probably the granddaddy of apples when it comes to baking, the Golden Delicious apple. So the thing about the Golden Delicious apple, and the name kind of says it all, it has a nice sweet and tart taste to it. Also slightly buttery. The only thing about it is it does tend to break down a little bit more than you probably want when you're baking an apple pie, or any sort of apple baked goods. So you might want to mix it in with another apple, but on its own, it's still not that bad. You're not going to get that great, beautiful food porn shot with it. It's not going to hold up structurally when it comes to that, but it actually tastes really, really good when it comes to apple pie. Next up is the Granny Smith apple. Now this is probably the most recommended apple for making an apple pie, but I'm just gonna say this, I don't really like it. The Granny Smith is not a bad apple. It's more on the tart side, which I think makes it really great for baked goods. So like, you know, especially pies where you're kind of creating that sort of gelatinous pie filling, which is just sugar, and just a little bit more sugar. So the Granny Smith is great for that because it has this nice tartness that evens out all that saccharin that you have kind of going on in the apple pie. But the thing is, I find the flavor profile to be a little singular, but a lot of people really like the Granny Smith apple, and it does have great structure and it does make a good apple pie for that reason. But I personally will mix Granny Smiths in with something else just to kind of even out the flavor profile. I want a little bit more than that just one note. To me, Granny Smiths are kind of like the IPA of apples. It's just like one thing and one thing only, and I don't like either. So I'm just gonna put that out there right now. Here's one of my favorites, the Honeycrisp apple. So this apple, now it can be a little bit on the expensive side, but the Honeycrisp apple has a great flavor profile. It balances that sweet and saccharin and tart. It's just all very, very nice, but also, like the name, has that layer of kind of honey to it. It's a nice even layer that works out well in any baked good. The price can be a little bit of a turnoff when it comes to using it for baked goods, which is why most people just kind of eat them versus baking with them. But it's a delicious apple, nice structure, and great for any of your apple baked goods. Next up, we have our Jonathan apple, which is related to the Golden Delicious apple. Now, this apple is a great one. It's also has a nice balance of sweet and tart, but I think it's one of those apples that are best mixed in. Mix this in with some Granny Smith and some Honeycrisp apples, and you're gonna have one decadent, well-flavored, well-rounded apple dessert. I think you will like that one a lot. Then we have our Northern Spy apple, which are kind of hard to find, but when you do, you can't miss them. This is typically a large apple. I find the flavor profile to be pretty decent, but not that much different than some other varieties that are a lot more accessible. But these Northern Spy apples, they have a cult following, and they have a cult following for a reason. I think mostly because they're big, but check those out. Those also make a really great apple dessert. Another fan favorite and a personal favorite of mine is the Pink Lady apple. Now, I could eat Pink Ladies all the time. They are just a tasty apple. They also look great. They have a nice visual appeal to them. They also just make a really, really great pie. They have a great structure to them when they're baked. They don't get mushy like, say, Golden Delicious. They have a great, wonderful flavor profile. Like, you can just make any apple baked good using this apple, and no matter what you're making, whether it's hand pies or Pop-Tarts or homemade apple pie, whatever it is, strudel, whatever you're making, this is a great apple for that. And our last varietal, the Winesap apple, which, like the name, kind of has this white wine sort of flavor profile going on, along with the sweetness and the tartness. It's a really, really good apple for making apple pie too. So I promised you some storage tips. So let's talk about that. Apples, they look great in a bowl on the counter. It's the worst way to store them. Don't store them that way. Apples like to be cold. If you put them in the fridge, they'll actually keep for months in comparison to like maybe a month if you're lucky on the counter. Keep them in the fridge. You'll have those apples lasting a really, really long time. The thing about apples is they put off ethylene gas. So you want to be careful as to what you store them next to. And what I mean by that is all produce puts off some level of ethylene gas, and all produce is sensitive to ethylene gas on different levels. So avocados are extremely sensitive. If you have an underripe avocado, you can put it in a paper bag with an apple. The next day, it'll be ripe. Same thing with a banana. Same thing with stone fruit. So if you put your apples in the fridge next to things that are sensitive, like spinach, that's gonna actually wilt and rot. So store it next to the milk, store it next to the eggs, keep it away from those ingredients that are sensitive to ethylene gas, and that's the best way to store your apples. So if you like this video, hey, give me a thumbs up. And if you like apples, well, let me know in the comments section. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know that too. And if you like to cook like I do, please subscribe. I release new videos every single week and you don't want to miss out.